And speaking of extracting money and wealth, the New York City mayor threatens to raise property taxes in New York. And then there was also a law that was passed that I want to talk about in New York. Now I'm going to play this clip with Mamdani, Zohran the Moron. I'm going to play a couple clips. So let's
Okay.
start off with this one.
Budget after budget, it is tempting to assume that we are engaging in the same dance as our predecessors. Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical. That's why our solutions won't be either. There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control.
And in the end there, he says raising property taxes. Now I'm going to play another clip. Doing back to back. I'm going to play this next one.
Bro, this sidewalk is filled with shit. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm scared I'm gonna step in it. But yo, I ain't never seen no shit like that. Pun intended.
What?
So, ladies and gentlemen, the reality is New York is a shit show. Literally. Literally. Okay, I can't walk the streets of New York without stepping in shit. That's the reality. Okay? Literally. And Mamdani's first couple months has been the worst. And I never thought that there could be any mayor worse than Mayor de Blasio. But right now, Mamdani's on his pathway there. Because we had the storm that happened a couple weeks ago. There's still ice out there. The roads are not clean. I don't even know that snow was real, to be honest with you. That could be a whole nother topic for another day. People still shoveling out their snow. They did a horrible job. The trucks did nothing but push the snow back and barricaded your cars in. So that was number one. That was a flop, obviously. He didn't know what he was doing. And then obviously the shit that's all over New York City that people are stepping in and whatnot. We see it in that video. That's the shit show in a nutshell. And now we're talking about raising property taxes. Right now, New York is Gotham City. And this is who you voted for. Because you was all concerned about vibes. Oh, he was young. He was in a rap video. Oh, he was talking about free buses and whatnot. Woohoo! Yeah, free, free, free. And because you vote for vibes, this is how New York is. Congratulations.
Vibes. Are we voting for vibes now? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like it.
Mamdani, there was a lot of red flags for me with Mamdani. One, when anybody says free this and free that, you know that this is his first step in towards a communism nightmare. Only because in its root it's supposed to be good community and everybody does well, but in its reality is that there are just maniacs and people who cannot see that there is a kind of a discrepancy in wealth and all these things, and people are run by free eggs for whatever reason in America. Free eggs in North America too. Free eggs and free bus fare is like a thing, and I don't know that people. I don't know anybody that cares about eggs that much, but this is what
And
we're.
the buses are not free, by the way. They
And the bus,
actually went up.
The taxes went up.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, this is just me thinking out loud. When you think about it, it's not, the math isn't mathing, and it was never mathing. It was a show. But if we're talking that fact that if we're trying to make a conversation of this isn't a stage play, this isn't a show, because I can't see no other way. I cannot see no other way that all these things are happening if this wasn't like scripted. But if we're just saying this is the guy that we wanted, we actually voted for him. Well, he said it. He said what he was gonna do, and not in his campaign. They never say it in their campaign. They say it in the videos that you find before you vote for the guy, and the stuff, the research you do like you're supposed to do before you vote for the candidate. And then you would have found out that he had some extremist views. Then you would have found that his mom was visiting Epstein Island. Then you would have found out some of these people are placed as puppets in these precarious politician parties in order to fulfill the mission. This mission's going to go forth right, left, red, or blue. So we got to stop playing and look at things as dark versus light again.
And stop going for vibes.
Stop going for vibes. There's no vibes happening in tribulations. There's just going to be hellfire.
Exactly.
And so there's no vibes. But again, when people stop believing politicians, what they say out of their mouth, and doing the research, the problem is people are into Vine brains. This started years ago with Vine. Quick. People can't even listen to a podcast. They listen to the podcast at two times.
You got to post clips because they're not going to watch the full show.
Yeah, I'm telling you, no.
And TikTok and all that. Now everything is less than 1 minute. You got to captivate the audience in less than 1 minute. Go for it.
Or your audience will be 50 plus. That's just the bottom line. Because right now, no kids are listening. Even my kids, I'll hear them talking to their friends, and they're sending each other messages, and then they listen to it at 2 times speed. But it's not like a chipmunk. There's no soul in that. Why? Because that's just what they're used to. We're in different times, Lil. So people don't want to go online, do research. There's very few people who are using their discernment and their investigative minds and going and researching, spending time. I don't think I've ever just sat on Instagram now and then just enjoyed scrolling. I'm always there to find something else. I'm always there to search for more, or just to see if it connects with what I've been reading about in my Bible, what the Lord has dropped down on discernment on me. So it's always that. Otherwise, I'm sitting here wasting time. And the point is that most people are sitting around wasting time because, one, it's too hard to address the crazy, like you said earlier. It's hard to address the crazy stuff. Sometimes it makes you fearful, and then you just want to just get lost in something that's lighter. We'll be talking about some stuff that's going on in the news, politics. My son's like, Mom, can we just put like a family movie on, something that's just laughing? And I can tell he's like 13. He's like, I can't, like Jeffrey Epstein, all this stuff on the news. He's like, this is. He doesn't say that, but he's just like, so Mom, you want to watch a movie with me? Can we just put something like really like family on? So he'll go and grab our remote control, and he'll be like, family movie. Because it's hard. So I get that. It's like people don't want to find out, but that's okay. Everybody has their gifts. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the tough stuff. I'm okay with looking at it. I'm not necessarily okay with all of it, because I do, like I said, I take in a lot, and it's hard to like separate that from my day-to-day peace. So I tread lightly, but I have to do the hard stuff, which is to do that, to look into things more. And people needed to look into Mamdani. They need to look into Trump. They need to look in all this and stop looking at the fanfare of what you're seeing in front of you and making up your mind based on, well, he looks like this, and he looks like a tough guy. He looks like an alpha. He looks like a vibey guy. He looks like what he's showing you, just like we do. I'm an actor. We look like what we want to tell you. But do your research.
And look, that's a good point too, because a lot of people, to get deep here in the world, a lot of people look at things from a perceptional lens.
Yeah.
When you mention alpha, obviously you're referring to Trump, because we all know that Trump brings off alpha energy. And you look at that alpha energy and you're like, okay, that's something that, because I fell for it. I'm like, all right, that's something that we need, because in a world that's getting more feminine when it comes to men, to have that alpha personality in office, you're drawn to that. Just like how in any other realm of, the world and whatnot, people look at you and you look a certain way, and people think that your word is bond because you look that way. And then you get people like Mamdani who gives you vibes, and then you vote for vibes. You got relationships where people like, oh, she was a vibe, he was a vibe, and they just meet and try to get married based on vibes. But that's not how you should get married. That's not how you should vote. You can't vote because of vibes and traits and whatnot. You got to take the person, but
And
not off of face value,
that's
but
right.
off of what they're showing you.
Right. Time answers everything.
Yeah.
If
Now,
you give anything time, it'll answer the question. That also goes with studying and learning about these politicians before they're voting in the office. And it also goes to people you
or like
spend
Kamala, right? A lot of people, they voted for Kamala because she was a chameleon and she said what people wanted to hear.
exactly.
Well, the people that
Well,
were lunatics, or yeah, I could put tampons in boys' back, them people, right? Oh, you could be known as transgender and whatnot. Like she said what they wanted to hear, and a lot of people, they like to hear what they want to hear,
you want to
and
hear
that's why they
human.
keep certain people in their lives, because people that are yes men,
Oh,
to them, they that's who they like.
that part. That's why people keep certain people in their life. It's like, oh yeah, sounds good, looks great. Yeah. No, tell me when I'm wrong. That's why
Yep,
time answers everything. You spend time with people, you're gonna find out the true nature of who they are. It always comes out. You give anything time, it'll answer all your questions.
definitely. And in regards to these property taxes, again, I told everybody earlier in the show how home ownership has been declining every single 10 years,
Yeah.
literally significantly. And now, when you talk about socialism and the flawed ideas of that, again, everything, and you alluded to it, everything sounds nice, right? Free, free, free. But then when you peel back the onion, you realize that it's unlogical. For example, raising property taxes will make landlords raise their rent.
Yep.
Okay, simple as that. Because
Yep.
people will be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. I don't own a home. Probably never gonna own a home anyway."
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Well, you pay rent, right? Okay.
Oh,
And when they come up with these, who do you think the landlords are gonna? What do you think they're gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna raise your rent.
it just sounds cute. It's like we're gonna raise taxes on the rich,
Yeah, just like how
Don't
they
you
said
know that
taxes on the rich. But guess what? Rich people are rich. They can
little,
flee. Literally, they have the money to flee.
but
They can
not
go down
that.
south. They can go
Not,
out west. Okay, they
not,
can flee. And guess what? If they flee, who's gonna get taxed the most? The middle class,
yeah. But
which is
not
already gone, by the way.
yeah. Just like you said, once they tax the rich, everything else goes. So okay, so you're gonna charge me more for my building. Everything else in this building that's operating out of this building, price comes up. Charging me more for this, like you said, rent's gonna go up. It is ultimately going to affect it. That's the biggest psyop ever. I love that you just
Yeah,
mentioned that. That's crazy. So whenever they say tax the rich, you best believe because the rich like to stay rich. It's coming to you. It ain't
yeah,
gonna stay with the rich. That's not how it works. They need to level out. They need to come in with a certain bracket at the top of the year, and they need to exceed that. They definitely don't want to underachieve that. So the price, the cost margin goes off to the people. That's why these tariffs always go off into the population. It doesn't affect the wealthy. They go, okay, you gave us 100% tariffs. I'm gonna put 100% tariffs up on the on the price
hmm
of it. That goes to the consumer.
yep.
So we have to stop consuming things.
I'm in sales,
We
and
got
I know there was a company that I used to work for. I just got a new job, but the company that I used to work for, they actually, I guess they were founded in Canada, and the tariffs. So when I sell, the price is up now than what it was before because of the tariffs.
yeah,
So it affects you.
because the tariffs do not affect the business owners. They're going
No,
to
no, you're
like
right.
they're going to make sure that their price margin does not dive. They don't want that. Wealthy people, they go to sleep thinking about money. They wake up thinking about money. They wake up thinking about the stock market. They go to sleep thinking about the stock market. They don't rest well. That's why you see some people that live in third world countries that we like to call them underachievers because they're not out there hustling to die. They're happy. They're not here trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're not walking around with the latest iPhone that's going to blow up in your pocket. They're not walking around here driving a car that they're going to spend 2 hours a day in, going from work and to work, a beautiful mansion that they're going to spend 4 hours at night after they come home from work, eat dinner, go on their phone and scroll, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. But that looks good on paper. We have to put our priorities and our values in check right now. What matters is your soul. What doesn't matter is things on this earth. We are not in control. One thing about this new world order is it's going to pop off real soon. And how do you get the new world order to happen? Is you break the old world order. Now they're just saying it with our mouth. We used to say this NWO stuff all the time, and it was like, no way. And now they're saying it, all of them, including our prime minister here in Canada.
Yeah.
Now they're
I
saying
believe Marco Rubio came out and said it. Basically.
It's on Vance. No, they didn't say basically. He said it with his mouth. Vance said it with his mouth. Mark Carney said it with his mouth. They're all saying it with their mouth, Lil. Like I said, the cards are on the table. This is no longer whispering about newer order. This all broke out.
Oh, it's here.
In January and February of 2026, everything shattered and broke. Everything shattered and broke. What? So that being said, is the old world order must break, and we just thought, well, Trump's gonna do it. He's not gonna fall in line. He's gonna get rid of this World Economic Forum and this, and yeah, he's gonna do it. He's just gonna do it his own way. He got rid of World Health Organization. He's bringing on Trump RX, and they gonna get the microchips in you. Because one thing about American AI is it's taking over America, honey.
Yeah, I mean AI. That's a whole nother conversation. AI is that's the demon right there. That's the real thing people need to worry about.
Right.
That's going to finish off probably humankind.
Well, that's the market piece. That's going to finish off humankind. Yeah. And also, if you thought, you better enjoy free water pouring out your tap right now, because one thing about AI is once some factories come up, the amount of water that is needed to run those factories is insane. Yep. Water will not be free. You will be paying to go into your shower and take a shower. You'll put a coin, you'll put $50 in there. They're already doing it right now.
Yeah. And you're gonna start paying for the toxic air that you breathe soon.
And you're gonna be paying. And if you, yeah, you are. No, I'm not kidding. Really? If you ran outside too much, that's your carbon tax. It will mark up, because you'll have that microchip, right? That mark of the beast that separates you eternally from the Lord. So you'll have that in there. And if you run too much, or if you talk too much in a podcast or laugh too much, you're done. You have to pay for that. They take money out of your credit thing. So people are like, this digital ID, what is this?
Trust me, I would not be here when that happens. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
Period.
So take that for what it's worth, and what I'm actually trying to tell y'all by me saying that. I won't be here when that happens.
The return of our Lord Savior.
Okay.
He's coming.
And I would say this I want to talk about this law. But before I do, Mamdani, New York is horrible. And I knew it. We did a show. We did 2 shows before he got elected. We did one before, and we did one after he got, like literally right after he got elected, like the next day.
Yeah.
And we warned people. We told people. But unfortunately, people didn't listen. They went for the vibes. And right now, the city is horrible. It's horrible. And let's talk about this law that is actually going to allow medical aid in the suicide of ill people. So people that are sick, that want to pack themselves out of here, there's going to be a medicine that allows you to do that. Now, to me, Shar, and I'm not sure if you agree with me, but I'm almost 9 times out of 10 believing that you're going to agree with me here. I believe that this is all part of the depopulation agenda. Just like how it was with abortion. People think abortion was a luxury. Oh, yeah, I get to sleep around with Tom, Dick, and Jerry, and Pamela, and Tiana, and all that, and I get out, right? Yeah, the government cares about it, right? They want me to have my fun and not suffer the consequences, right? No, it was about depopulation, right? It was about, especially in the Black community, people use that more. They abort babies more. They kill their own people more, and yeah, that was what it was designed for. And this right here with this medicine is another example of depopulation at its finest, because just like with the COVID, they wanted to get rid of the older people first. That was a thing, right? They was like, you know what, we're going to get rid of the older people. The older people was in the hospital. They was on these ventilators. They were giving them something called remdesivir and whatnot that was literally killing them, not the actual sickness, right? So it was all about packing up the older people, because let's face it, and yeah, this may be controversial. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think everybody that's here is valuable, because one thing about older people, the value that they have is experience that they can teach, right? They're
Yeah,
teachers, right?
that's
But the way how the world, the billionaires, the Epsteins, the Rockefellers, right? Those people that run your life look at older people is waste. Oh,
yeah.
get them out of here. They're gonna die anyway. Like they you know, what are they here for? Pack them up, right? Even though they're here because they have knowledge that they can literally spew onto the people. They don't look at it like that. So they want them to take this medicine so they can get up out of here, so they can literally do what they plan to do by 2030, which is cut off half of the population. Bill Gates told you in that TED interview, all right, that we need to get the population here. This is another prime example of that.
Well, once they say what their plan is, when they tell you what they're going to do, you got to believe them. We have to. We got to stop chalking it up to being just funny. It's just comedy. It's just a show. It's just a movie. It's just this. It's just karmic retribution, good old predictive programming, good old get you ready set up so we can relieve ourselves of all the karma or whatever they call it, which I don't, whatever. um and then we can bring on what we've been talking about, because what happens is when you're the audience and you agree to it, you accept it, you're watching it, which means you come into agreement with it. Funny thing about it is that's how free will works. If you see a show and you're like, no, I don't like where this is going, you can turn it, or you can continue to watch it because you're just intrigued enough to just keep continuing down that rabbit hole, even though it's full of lust, or it's full of this, or it's full of that, or it's full of that. And you know in your heart you shouldn't do it. What happens is we start to make concessions. We go, that's wrong. And usually at the beginning you go, I'm gonna turn that off. And then when you do it enough, you start to be like, it's just whatever. It's just whatever. And so that's where we are in humanity is right now. And this is no different than anything else. They're saying, I want to play God. When you can go and say, I want to die, this is my time to go.
Yep.
I feel like I'm not good here. So when was suicide ever like it was illegal? Like if you killed yourself, you were actually considered a murder, even though you're dead. That's the actual thing. So backwards, like literally good is evil, evil is good. So this is where we are, Lil. They're doing it here in Canada. They have this a medical assisted death. They have a hotline and they will come to your house and give you what you need. And probably I don't know, I haven't like done that much research to call it, but I think within the day or two or a week you can be on your way to death.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's telling me that government has bypassed doctors. And before you used to have to go and you used to have to go in the doctor, and the doctor then would have to be able to, you would have to give them the okay to share your records. Now you can call a hotline and then you'd be like, you feel like this, that, you've been not right since COVID. Oh, you don't feel like you're needed in society? I get it. Okay, so and they'll come to your house, we'll make you feel comfortable, we'll give you a couple pills. It's very simple. And people are doing that. They're doing it and they aren't thinking twice. That again to me screams, I want to ascend my kingdom above heaven. Devil,
Yeah. They're
Satan.
trying to play God.
They're
That's what
saying
it
just
is.
knock off.
Because what the reality of the situation is, when you think about it from a bigger scale perspective, is that these people that do evil know that this is their time to live as if they're not going to be
I'm
in the
short.
afterlife in heaven.
That's it.
So their God is going to be earth.
Yep. That's it. And so right now it's like pulling all stops because they know it. The enemy knows that eternity is up. It's up. So right now the best thing he can do is try to get as many people as he can go with him, because everybody who's human beings is made in the image of God. So he wants to
I
get it.
mean,
You want to
if
get
we follow the Bible, right? If we really just want to follow things from the biblical perspective, if you know what it says in the Bible, you take your own life, you're going straight to hell. So this is if that was true, which it is, especially people that read the context or the book, that means all these people are going to be going to hell. That means it literally, yo, I'm taking as much souls as I can to hell, because if you take that and you take these medications, that's literally going to pack you up before your time is.
Yeah,
then you know where you're going.
that's
Especially
right.
if you follow the Bible.
That's a great way to put it. Then you have, but they have gotten, and it's so crazy that you say it that way, and they have gotten the okay from someone who's supposed to be a government trustworthy. They can be like, well, they said it's fine. They bought it to me. They're gonna be held into it. They're gonna be held in contempt too in the courts of heaven. It's going down. And this is the thing: the enemy is pulling out all stops. He knows his time is short. He knows he's gonna spend eternity in the lake, which was made for him and the false prophet and all that, whatever. He knows it's up. He knows that he's trying to get as many people who are made in the image of God to be down there with him, because he wants to be like, I told you I would do this. Look at all you people that look like you. They're down here with me. He is so evil, the enemy. And I'm going to say it like that. I don't care what people think right now. We're not dealing with the false narratives of the past. We're dealing with dark and light, good and evil, Jesus and Satan, period. That's it.
And that's where we can end off this spectacular show.
Oh, what is
And Shar Michelle, we definitely talked about a lot. And the reality of the situation is, and I think we can conclude with, we are in the times. Okay, we are in the NWO. The NWO is here, and we'll see how people react to it when things begin to unfold. Shar, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. And any final thoughts that you want to leave the people with as we come to a close?
Well, Lil, first of all, again, thank you so much for thinking of me to talk about this very interesting, like I said at the beginning of the show, topic. It's just, it's the world is getting interesting. It's always a joy to share this space with you, and congratulations on your new gig. I know you're going to do
Appreciate
it.
it.
You're
Yeah.
awesome. And I know that this is always a very popular and great show, the Real Lil Show, y'all. Share it with everybody. And I just want to pray for the audience. I just want to say, Lord, everybody who's listening to this podcast on the Real Lil Show, that they will have this intrinsic nature, this desire to want to seek the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, so that they can, if they have any questions about whether they're serving a real or true or God, that you will show up in their lives, Lord Jesus, that you will let them know who you are, so that they will never question it. And I pray for the safety of my friend Lil and his family and his nieces and my kids and everybody, all the people all over the globe right now who are suffering from having to watch these Epstein and look at these things and seeing the world crumble. Lord, I just ask that you give them the warmth and the peace that surpasses all understanding, which is you, Lord Jesus. Wrap them in your arms. And I just pray that as we go through this week, that we will see your hand in our lives. In Jesus Christ's mighty name, I pray. Amen.
Yeah, thank you for praying for the people, because guess what? The people need it. We need it. I need it. We all need it. And Shaw, until the next time.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace.
Sports, politics, conspiracy theories. We are here to give you our unique perspectives on things happening in the world. It's the one and only The Real Lil on The Real Lil Show.